this video, we are going to add some walls on top of our foundation walls. These walls will rest on top of our foundation walls, and they will go up to our roof level, and they will provide one continuous surface that we can then put our roof onto. So to start off, I want you to go to under floor plans, go to 02 entry level. Double click on 02 entry level. We see our perimeter here, we see our topography. Sometimes you might accidentally go to a level and you don't see anything. If I went to 02 entry level on my ceiling plans, I don't see anything. If that ever happens, if you ever go to a level and you don't see anything, that tells you that probably you've inadvertently double-clicked on your ceiling plan view, and you, the viewer, are looking upward. So make sure that you're under the floor plans view and double-click on 02 entry level. And what we're going to do is we're first going to put a series of walls on top of these higher foundation walls here. So what I want you to do now is go to the Architecture tab, click on Wall, and this time we're going to select Basic Wall Generic 6 inches. And to do that, go to this top window here, go to the drop-down menu, and again, all these different preloaded wall types are listed in alphabetical order. Scroll to the G's and select Generic 6 inches. Now what I want you to do, for in this case, location line, we want this location line to be core face interior. In this case, set it for core face interior. The base constraint is going to be 02 entry level, 02 entry level. Revit just assumes whatever level you're currently working on, you probably want that to be the bottom of your wall. And in this case, they're right. We want our base constraint to be 02 entry level. Base offset is set for 0 feet, 0 inches. If we wanted the bottom of this wall to occur maybe 2 feet above entry level here, we could set this for 2 feet, and we would have kind of a little floating condition. The bottom of the wall would float 2 feet above the floor. We don't want that. We want base offset to be 0 feet, 0 inches, telling the computer that this wall rests firmly on the 02 entry level floor level. Top constraint, where the top of this wall is going to go, we want it to go up to level 03 roof. So set that for 03 roof. Top offset is the same thing. If we want that wall, the top of the wall, to occur higher than that level or lower than that level, we could give it an offset. We could say plus 10 feet or minus 5 feet, and we could have the top of that wall stop short or extend past this level. In this case, we want top offset to be 0 feet, 0 inches. Once we've got that set, now I want you to zoom in right here to this first wall, the southernmost of these foundation walls. Zoom in at the end of the wall, right at the center here, and you can see a little purple box shows us that we are snapping right to the middle of the wall. That's exactly what we want, and we're going to click, and we're going to pull our wall straight over to the left. And as we get close to the middle of this north-south wall, the wall that travels up from our screen, you can see a little dashed line tells us we're in line with the middle. When we see that dashed line, click and go straight up. And then as we get here, you can see a little purple box is telling me that I'm in line with the center point of this most northern wall of our foundation. When we see this purple box show up, again, click and move our walls due east, and we want this to stop right here. We want this to terminate at the edge of this wall. So we're going to click here, and I'm pulling my cursor away. I'm going to hit the escape button on my keypad. That keeps me from constructing any other walls at this point in time, and I'm going to hit modify. Gets me out of the wall making business entirely. So this is what we've got. We've got 3 walls that are on top of the foundation walls, and if we go to our default 3D view, you can see what we've done. Here are our 3 walls. The face of this exterior wall is in line with the face of my foundation wall. They provide a nice, smooth, continuous surface here. That's what we want. We want people to see this from the outside and it looks continuous, this nice continued plane. On the inside, however, we can see that this wall, our foundation wall, is 12 inches thick, and our exterior wall on top of it is only 6 inches thick. They jog. You can see in section. It goes from a thin wall to a thick wall. However, we're going to put a floor slab in here. No one will ever really see that this wall jogs in that way. So the floor slab keeps us from seeing this part of the wall and this part of the wall at the same time. So that's what we're doing here. Our next step is now we're going to put walls on top of this portion of our foundation that go up to the same level. So in the end, we're going to have this continuous surface up here that we can then put our roof on. So in this case now, let's go to the floor plan for 01 lower level. Double click on it. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to architecture, wall. We're going to use the same kind of wall, basic wall, generic 6 inches, location line, core face, interior, base constraint. Since we're on 01 lower level, we're just going to allow Revit to make that assumption that that's going to be the bottom of our wall. But instead of going all the way up to the next level, which is level 02, we're going to change it. We're going to tell these walls they also need to go up to the level 03 roof level. And we're going to hit apply. Now we're going to draw our walls, but this time we're going to pick up where we left off the last time, and I'll tell you why. If we zoom in here, we're going to snap to this midpoint of this wall, and we're going to draw another wall going to the right. And when we get to the middle of the wall that goes north-south, you'll see this purple box will show up telling us we're in line with that. We're going to rotate and go downward until we see the midpoint of this wall here. And we're going to click and head over in this direction until we get that purple box telling us we're in the middle of this north-south facing wall. We're going to go down, and then the purple box here, can you see that? That purple box telling me I'm in line with the middle of this wall, and we'll go right over and stop our chain of walls at that point. I'm going to hit escape, I'm going to hit modify, and we'll go to our 3D view. And if we did it right, we have this continuous surface. All of our exterior walls are going up to the roof level. I'm going to go back to the, I'll go to the 02 entry level so we can see all of our walls here, the floor plan for 02 entry level. If you click modify, you'll see your cursor just looks like a white arrow. Click on modify, and what I want you to do is select one of these walls and just click on it. One of the things you're going to see is a pair of arrows. If we click on this wall, you can see the pair of arrows there. If we click on this wall, we see our pair of arrows. The pair of arrows indicates which side of the wall is considered to be the outside face of the wall. So in this case, the outside face is indeed on the outside of our group of walls here. You can see that in all of our walls. Our outside faces is on the outside. For what we're doing in this particular exercise, in this case, it doesn't really matter which side is the outside because our walls here are simply just generic slabs, our generic material. There's no specific material making up these walls. But at a later point in time, you'll be using walls that have gypsum board on the outside, some wood studs or structure on the inside, and maybe brick or stucco on the outside. And in that case, it becomes really important that the outside, the exterior face of the wall is actually to the outside of your group of walls. You don't want the brick showing up on the inside and the gypsum board showing up on the outside. The reason that we started drawing our walls from this point and working our way down is if you draw a collection of walls in a clockwise manner, the outside finishes, the exterior finishes of the walls will be to the outside of your group of walls. I'll show you, you don't need to follow along, just watch what I'm doing. I'm going to click on wall. If I draw a group of walls in a clockwise manner, I click from here to here to here to here, and then back up again. I've moved in a clockwise manner, and if I hit modify, each of these walls, as I click them, the outside, the exterior face is to the outside of the configuration of walls. You can see that. If I fence these off and hit delete and redraw them, but I draw them in a counterclockwise manner, the exterior face of these walls will now point to the inside of our configuration of walls. This would be maybe if you were designing a courtyard where the exterior faces of the walls all need to face into the collection of walls. You can see as I click these walls, the pair of arrows is on the inside. If you ever get it wrong and you realize, oh no, my wall is flipped, this exterior face is facing to the inside, it really needs to face to the outside, you can very easily change it. If you click on the pair of arrows, it flips it. If you click on the pair of arrows, it flips it to the outside. So you can very easily make changes. I'm going to delete this. I just want to illustrate. That's why when we drew this second group of walls, we started here. We were drawing these walls in a more or less clockwise manner. The same with our first group of walls. We started down here and drew them in a clockwise manner, ensuring that our pair of arrows was to the outside of our group. Now let's go ahead and put a roof on things. Let's go take a look at our 3D view again. We're going to put a roof on top of our configuration of walls here. So in this case, go to Floor Plans under the project browser and go down to level 03 Roof and double click it. We can see here's the entire group of our exterior walls that we've just placed. And now let's go up here to the Architecture tab. This time instead of wall, we're going to go over to a new category. We're going to go to Roof. And the type of roof that you want to use is roof by footprint. Roof by footprint simply allows you to draw the perimeter of your roof in a floor plan view, and then if you're happy with it, you'll hit your green check mark and turn it into a real roof. So we're going to opt for roof by footprint. And let's see, what kind of roof did we want to use here? We've got a whole bunch of different options, I think. If we go, you can see now properties applies to our roofs. Let's go down to our drop-down menu here. You can see we've actually got we've got generic 12 inches, generic 18 inches, steel truss. Let's go with this one. This is wood rafter, 8 inches, asphalt shingle insulated. So this is an actual roof type that's used in the construction of residences. So we've got this type of roof will have 8-inch deep rafters. It will be coated in asphalt shingles. It's insulated. So let's click on this one. Let's use this real roof as opposed to a generic roof. You can see base level, 03 roof. It's asking what level, where do we want to put the roof? Base offset, 0 feet, 0 inches. Do we want the roof to be higher than that level for some reason? If we did, we could change this, but I'm going to just say 0 feet, 0 inches. Typically, I like the roof, unless there's some kind of extraordinary circumstances, I want the roof right on the level that we've created for the roof. Let's scroll down here. At this point, I think we've got enough information. Let's start drawing our roof. And you can see here we've got the green check mark and the red X. This is just like we saw when we created our topography. When we eventually put floor slabs in here, we'll do them the same way. We'll draw the perimeter of it. If we're happy with it, we hit the green X. If we hate it, we'll hit the red X if we hate it, the green check mark if we like it. So let's do this. We could use one of these shapes to draw a rectangle. I'm going to delete this. We could use lines to draw the shape of our roof if we wanted to. Those are two different ways of drawing the perimeter of our roof. I'm going to hit modify and delete this because I'm going to show you how I like to do roofs. I like using this. This is what we use. Pick lines is what we use to define the perimeter of the hole that we cut in our topography. We're also going to use this to tell the computer very quickly where we want the outside face of our roof to occur, the fascia. So I'm going to click on pick lines. And I'm just going to select these edges, just like we did when we told the computer where the hole in our topography was. I selected these 4 sides. I'm not going to worry about the little notch out here. I'm just going to have the roof eventually. I'm just going to keep things simple. I'm going to roof over that. I'm going to provide like a little shelter over this notch here. So I've used pick lines to define these 4 sides. Now I'm going to use the trim extended corner. Like I said before, this is very much like fillet in in AutoCAD. I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to double check, I'm going to zoom in and see if all these lines join at the corners. These all look nice and neat. So we're going to use the pick lines command to join up this edge to this edge. So we have this nice rectangle here. Now roofs actually project out from the building a certain amount. We don't want them just them flush with the face of the building. We want a little eave projection here. So what I'm going to do is now go up to this command called offset. And if I click on offset, I can tell the computer I can move each of these lines a set distance. So I'm going to click on offset, and here's the window. It's asking me the offset distance. I'm going to set that for 3 feet. I want my eave depth to be 3 feet. I want the edges of my roof to project out 3 feet from the face of my building. I'm going to hit tab, having selected it. Copy. A lot of the times you may want to move or offset a copy of something. In this case, we want to move the original, so I'm going to uncheck copy. Now watch as I get close to this first line here, and you can see my cursor has a little offset cloud next to it. If I get close to this line here, Revit knows I want to offset it 3 feet, but it doesn't quite know in which direction to move it. So I'm just going to toggle my cursor until I see the dashed line 3 feet to the outside of my group of walls. And I just click, and there it goes. It moves it 3 feet to the outside. In a similar way, I'm going to move my cursor and toggle about this line. I want it 3 feet to the outside of that line. If I go here, I want 3 feet. I want to toggle it 3 feet to the outside of that edge of the face of the wall. And again, 3 feet out from the building. So I use the offset command to move all of those 3 feet out from the building. I'm going to now move over here and click on modify because we're going to make a few changes here. Can you see that there are these little triangles? There's a triangle associated with each edge of my roof in the plan view. These triangles tell me that a slope is emerging from each of these faces here. This face has a slope, this face has a slope, this face has a slope, and this face has a slope. And in fact, if I click on any one of these edges, it will tell me what the default slope is. So this edge here has a slope of 9 to 12, which means for every 9 inches of rise, every 9 inches that this roof goes up, it travels horizontally 12 inches. So it has a slope of 9 to 12. And this is how we express to contractors how to build a slope. This is the easiest way to tell contractors how to build a slope. We use what's called the slope ratio, rise to run. So I could do this. 9 to 12 I think is going to look nice. That's a standard slope that we use. But we could do this. There's a box up here that says defines roof slope. If we uncheck that box, it takes the slope away. Now this edge becomes a flat roof. A flat roof emerges from this. So we can toggle each and every one of these. We could turn the slope on or off. So let's do this. Let's make sure that the slope is turned on all 4 sides, and let's just hit our green check mark. Here's our roof. What we're seeing is our eyes are a little too close to our eye level here is a little too low, and our eyes are actually cutting through the roof. This roof is intact, but our eyes are here cutting through it. We can change the position of our eyes, and we'll do that in a second here. But if we go to our 3D view, this is what the roof looks like if all 4 sides have a slope emerging from it. This we call a hip roof. Let's go back to our roof plan, and we'll turn off 2 of the slopes here so you can get a sense of the differences in roof. Okay, so this is a hip roof. All 4 sides have slopes emerging from it. If we go to the floor plan for 03 roof and double click on it, and if I click on the roof, I can now go up here to edit footprint. It turns it back into the pink outlines. Now I can go to modify, and I can go to this line and turn off the roof slope. And I can go to this line, this edge, and turn off the roof slope. So only these 2 edges have slopes. These 2 do not. Let's hit our green check mark. Again, we're seeing the roof. Our eyes are cutting through it. Let's go back to our 3D view, and you can see what it looks like. This is what a roof looks like if only two sides have the slope coming off it and two sides do not. This is called a gable roof. If we go back to our 03 roof plan, and we click on our roof, and we hit Edit Footprint right here, turns it back to the pink outlines. Let's turn off the slope for all of these. And I can actually click on this edge, hold down my control button, click on this edge, and turn off the roof slope for both of those simultaneously. Now if I hit my green check mark, let's take a look at it in the 3D view. We got a flat roof. All four edges are flat. There's no slope affiliated with any of those. Let's go back and make this a hip roof. I like the way hip roofs look. They make me think of Frank Lloyd Wright. So let's click on our roof. Let's go to the 03 roof plan. Let's hit Edit Footprint. If I fence off everything, if I fence this, I'm only selecting the pink outlines. I'm not selecting my walls because I'm in the roof editing mode. So I've selected all four of my roof outlines, but nothing else. I can turn on Defines Roof Slope here and hit Apply, and in one fell swoop, turn on slope for all four of these. And let's hit our green check mark. Let's go to our 3D view, and once again, we've got a hip roof here. Let's just stick with that. I like how that looks. Let's go back to our roof floor plan, double click on it, and let's fix this. Let's move our eyes up a little ways until we can see the roof in its entirety. This gives us, by cutting through the roof like this, we're not getting an accurate view of what that roof really looks like. So right now, I haven't selected anything. I haven't clicked on anything here. So right now we're in the floor plan view. The properties window is showing us simply the properties associated with this view, with this floor plan view. So I think what we're going to scroll down here. One of these categories will allow me, I think it's called view range, will allow me to move where my eyes are located, allow me to move the height of my eyes. If I scroll down, here it is, view range, and I can hit edit. If I hit edit, this window comes up, and what I want to do is, I've never entirely figured out what all of these mean, but what we want to do, I think, is cut plane is telling the computer where our eyes are relative to the level we're on. So it says cut plane, offset 4 feet 0 inches. That means our eyes are currently 4 feet 0 inches higher than the level 3 roof level. We're 4 feet above that. If we make this number higher, we can raise our eyes up. We can make this 5 feet or 6 feet or 7 feet. We can move the position of our eyes in this one particular view. But we can't move this number higher than this top number, 7 feet 6 inches. So what we could do is if we increase this number, we could also move this number up. So let's try making this 12 feet, this top part of our range, and we'll make this one 12 feet also. So we're moving our eyes up 12 feet. If we hit apply, look at that. We are now seeing the roof in its entirety. So let's hit OK. So in all of our other floor levels, our eyes are at 4 feet above the level in the floor plan views, and that's typical. In this one instance, our roof plan, our eyes are 12 feet above the level, and that simply allows us to see the roof in its entirety. So we're making a little exception to the rule here. Let's hit Control plus S. Let's save our work. Get in the habit of hitting Control S about every 5 minutes or so. Revit will make backup copies of your work periodically, but I would recommend just getting in the habit of saving frequently so you don't lose anything. So here's our roof. If we go to our 3D view, let's go to some of our elevation views. Let's scroll down and look at some of these elevation views. If we go to east elevation, we can kind of see there's our roof. We go to the north elevation, south elevation. We're just kind of checking things out. West elevation. Let's try a little experiment here. In this west elevation, click on your roof. and over here under properties, scroll up, and we were looking for base offset. Right here it is, base offset from level. Instead of 0 feet 0 inches, change base offset from level to 10 feet. 10 tick mark and hit apply. That just means take this roof and raise it up, offset it up 10 feet from the 03 roof level. See how it moves up? It's now this floating roof. What we want to do is join our exterior walls to the roof in such a way that if we give the roof any kind of offset, these walls will always be joined up to it. It's a good idea to join your walls to your roof. So let's do this. Let's change base offset back to 0 and hit apply. Let's actually do this. Let's do this first. Let's go to the floor plan for 03 roof, double click on it. This will illustrate my point a little better. Click on your roof, hit edit footprint, select this face, hold down control, and select this face, the east and west faces. Turn off the slopes for each of those, hit apply, and hit your green check mark. If we go to our 3D view, we can see we've got a gable roof, and you can see the problem is our walls stop at this level. The walls don't join up with the roof. We want the walls to join up. So if we ever have a gable roof here, we have this nice joining of the walls, and we don't have this gap condition here. We're trying to avoid that. Let's do this now. Go to floor plans, go to 03 roof. In this view, we can see our roof and the walls that go up to the roof. In order for this little trick to work, we have to be in a view where we can see both the roof and the walls that need to join up with the roof. Now what I want you to do is click on this. Let's see here. We want to click on, I want to be able to click on the roofs. Okay, so in order to join our walls to our roof, we need to be in a view where we can not only see the walls and the roof at the same time, but we need to be able to select them. So right now, I'm in the roof level, floor plan 03 roof. I can select my roof, but the computer won't allow me to select the walls. Try as I might, I can't click on the walls. I can only click on the roof. I need to be able to click on both. So let's do this. Let's go to our project browser, scroll down to ceiling plans, and actually hit the ceiling plan for 02 entry level. In this view, we're on 02 entry level, but we're looking upward. And in this view, we've actually got the ability to select the roof. We can see the roof above us, but we can also select these walls. We've got the ability to both see and select all the stuff that we need. So in order to join the walls to the roof, I want you to do this. In the ceiling plan view for 02 entry level, click one of these walls, then hold down your control button on your keyboard and click all of the walls in the entire perimeter. Once these are all selected and you've got the entire chain of walls highlighted in blue, you'll see these new controls up at the top here. This will allow you to attach, we've got attached top base and detached top base. We want to attach the top. So click on attach top base. Once you've selected these walls, hit attach top base, and then you just click on the roof itself. That's it. And then click out of here. Hit modify. When you've selected all the walls, hit attach top base, then click on the roof, and what that does is it joins up all the walls neatly to the roof. So let's go to our 3D view. Now we can see there's no gap here. The walls neatly join up with the roof. And in fact, if we scroll down to our north elevation, let's actually go to let's try our east elevation. We'll do the little experiment that we tried earlier. If we select our roof, and we scroll up over here, and we say base offset 10 feet, we move that roof 10 feet up from the level, and hit apply, the walls follow it. The walls no longer stop at the roof level. They are the joined tops of the walls overrides the fact that we told the walls to stop at this level. No matter where this roof is, it could be a million feet up in the air. These walls will always join up with it. And that's what you want to do. When you create a roof, you want your exterior walls to neatly attach to the underside of the roof. We don't ever want to see that little gap that we saw earlier. Let's hit Control Z. Control Z will undo what we just did and bring the roof back down. Now the walls neatly join up with the roof. Let's go to our 3D view and take a look at that. Let's hit Control S. Let's save our work. And in the next video, we'll begin adding floors to our structure.